Stop everything. I've got 3 massive Celtic stories for you. Listen to this. First, a transfer that collapsed amid serious accusations. Second, a key Celtic player suddenly being lined up as a fallback in a huge European deal. And trust me, the third one is the biggest and most important of all. It could reshape the defense completely. Stay with me right to the end. We bring you daily news to keep you right up to date with the mighty Celtic. Hit subscribe and join in. So here's the messy one, and it needs talking through properly. The camp of Jocelin Ta Bi has come out swinging, claiming his move to Celtic collapsed in ugly circumstances, and the story doing the rounds is not a comfortable listen for anyone who actually understands what this club is about. The deal itself was simple on the surface. Celtic had agreed a fee of £3 million with Maccabi Netanya for the Ivory Coast winger. Then the medical became the sticking point. The club wanted extra reassurance about an ankle issue, asked for further checks, and suddenly the momentum slowed. In that gap, Sunderland stepped in, moved quickly, and wrapped it up. Football waits for nobody, especially in January. Now, here's where it turns sour. Ta Bi's agent claims the player received abusive messages online from people claiming to be Celtic supporters, throwing around political accusations and saying he was not wanted at the club. Let's be crystal clear here, that does not represent Celtic, the history of this club, or what the badge stands for. Parkhead was built on inclusion, not ignorance, and anyone pushing that rubbish is no fan of mine. The agent also hinted heavily that Celtic were deliberately dragging their heels, questioning whether the player's links to Israel played a part. That is an allegation, not a fact, and it clashes hard with what we know about how Celtic has always operated. The club asked medical questions, fair ones, and in a window where Martin O'Neill is trying to steady a shaky squad without a full recruitment structure, caution was always going to exist. Meanwhile, Sunderland took the gamble, declared the player fit, and promised him a return within weeks. Good luck to them. This is football, not a charity raffle. If you hesitate, someone else cashes in. What this really highlights is the bigger issue. Celtic cannot afford to move slowly in the market while rivals sniff around, least of all that lot across the city who would love nothing more than chaos at Parkhead. Martin O'Neill needs clarity, backing, and decisions made fast. Because hesitation costs goals, points, and titles. Now, here's the real question for you, and don't dodge it. Did Celtic do the right thing protecting themselves medically, or has another potential difference maker slipped through the fingers because the club moved too cautiously in a title race that waits for no one? Hit that subscribe button to the channel and help us reach 1,500 Celtic fans. So this is one of those stories that creeps in quietly and then makes you sit up a bit straighter in your chair. Engels, one of the few midfielders who has actually looked like he belongs at this level all season, is suddenly being mentioned as a backup plan for a Bundesliga giant. Not the main target, not the headline name, but very much on the radar if big money moves elsewhere fall apart. Here's the picture. RB Leipzig want Rocco Reitz from Borussia Mönchengladbach. That deal sits in the region of 25 to 30 million euros, serious money, even by German standards. Leipzig are trying to make it work, but if it collapses, they already have alternatives lined up. And right there, sitting neatly on the list, is Engels at Celtic Park. Now, this is where perspective matters. Engels has been ever present, clocking up over 2,000 minutes, chipping in with goals, assists, and a level of composure that Celtic badly needed in midfield. Under Martin O'Neill, he looks settled, trusted, and clearly valued. He knows the Bundesliga, yes, but he also knows what it means to play under pressure in Glasgow, which is more than can be said for plenty of so-called elite midfielders. Leipzig see him as a more affordable option than Ardon Jashari at AC Milan, who would cost north of 35 million euros. Engels, valued around 10 million euros on paper, suddenly looks like value, and that is exactly why this should ring alarm bells. Clubs do not circle unless they believe there is something to take. But let me be clear with you, this is where Celtic must grow a spine. Engels is not a development project anymore. He is part of the engine room. Lose him mid-cycle, and you are not just replacing a body, you are ripping out balance, rhythm, and control, especially when the season is on a knife edge and the title race is still alive. And while Leipzig sit there weighing up first choice and second choice options, Celtic should already be deciding their own stance. This is not a selling moment. This is a building moment. If that mob across the city were in this position, they would be leaking stories about ambition and refusing bids just to look relevant. So here's the uncomfortable question I want you to answer honestly. If Leipzig come back with a so-called sensible offer, should Celtic cash in on Engels as a second choice target for someone else? Or is this exactly the kind of player the club must finally fight to keep if it wants to be taken seriously again? Hit that subscribe button to the channel and help us reach 1,500 Celtic fans. So this is one of those rumors that makes you raise an eyebrow and lean forward a bit. Celtic are reportedly keen on Jamie Lawrence, a towering centre-back who stands 6'7" and once wore the Bayern Munich badge. Yes, Bayern. Not bad for a lad who is now plying his trade in Austria with WSG Tirol and quietly edging towards the end of his contract. Lawrence is only 23, out of contract in the summer, and already attracting attention from all over the shop. Spain, Turkey, even China are circling, which tells you two things straight away. First, his situation is being watched closely. Second, Celtic are not shopping in a quiet corner here. They are stepping into a crowded market, and that matters because when clubs from across the globe start sniffing around, prices and promises tend to rise quickly. From a football point of view, you can see why Martin O'Neill would be interested. Celtic have been crying out for physical authority at the back. Someone who enjoys defending the box, who attacks crosses like it is personal, and who makes opposing strikers think twice before wandering into Kalmak's territory. At 6'7", Lawrence ticks that box before he even opens his mouth. He joined Tirol from Bayern Munich in 2024 on a short deal, clearly seeing it as a stepping stone rather than a final destination. Now, that door is open again. Because his contract is running down, there is a chance to get him for a reduced fee rather than waiting until the summer. In this market, that is how smart deals get done, not by dithering and watching rivals move first. Of course, Celtic are also looking at Aurele Amenda, and that tells you everything about priorities. This is not about numbers, it is about presence. O'Neill wants defenders who can handle pressure, defend their box, and give the rest of the team confidence. And let's be honest, watching the chaos across the city where defending is more of a suggestion than a principle, you can see why getting this right matters. But here is the risk. Lawrence is not the finished article. He has pedigree, size, and potential, but not yet the CV of someone who walks straight into Parkhead and dominates. This would be a calculated gamble, one that could pay off handsomely or leave you asking questions by October. So here is the real debate for you. Should Celtic move quickly and secure a 6'7" former Bayern defender before the rest of Europe piles in? Or is this another case where the club risks chasing physical profile over proven quality when the title race still hangs by a thread? Hit that subscribe button to the channel and help us reach 1,500 Celtic fans.